If you're a Kamen Rider fan browsing on the internet since the early days of the fandom, chances are you might have come across this image at least once. It's definitely an image that has piqued the curiosity of many fans over the years. With that being said, there's still a very interesting story about this image. From what I inferred in my fruits of research, it seems that Japanese fans consider this episode/special to be something called a phantom episode. Something like sort of a lost media. Starting off with the basics, this episode is referred to as episode 51 due to its timing and release after Faiz's finale. Due to its content, it is not considered canon to the story and lore of Faiz. Now, I'm going to refrain from using words such as canon in this video since said word does not exist outside of the English lingo, and going forward in this video, I will instead use words like official or legitimized to illustrate what is real in the rider community. So, with that being said, episode 51 is not considered official for a magnitude of reasons. From what I was able to gather is that, for one, the episode was mainly given as a special gift to all the staff as a special thank you for their hard work on Faiz's production. Judging from the photos online, most of the content features the crew and cast just having fun and enjoying themselves. I like to think of it just like Kuuga's 50th episode. With this being an Inoue project, there's also gags present in Faiz's 51st episode. For example, Kusaka coming back to Ghost to haunt Mari and maybe Takumi. And now the only thing that could be considered potentially official is the ending scene where Kenzaki, played by Tsubaki Takayuki, makes a surprise cameo appearance and receives a baton from his senpai rider. From what I heard from Japanese netizens online is that this scene supposedly played out like this. So the information I'm about to talk about now is from the Kotoku 99 Hatena blog. This blog post from 2003, and I'm actually surprised it's still active to this day, which is a huge plus. Judging from the description, it seems that episode 51 starts immediately after the ending of episode 50. And just to refresh your mind, episode 50 actually ends with Takumi, Mari, and Keitaro on the grass, just hanging out and chilling while talking about dreams. Episode 51 immediately starts off after the ending of episode 50. A red cylindrical object falls from the sky. The three main characters then bring this item back to Keitaro's laundry shop and begin a heated discussion about the item's origins and its whereabouts. Kusaka, now a ghost, joins them, and after another pointless argument, they decide maybe we should talk to Kiba about this. Maybe he'll have an idea of what's going on. And as so, the group heads over to Kiba's apartment, and for some reason, Kiba and Yuka are still alive. And after another pointless exchange between the renegade orphanage group, all of the cast members decide it's most likely a trap set by Smartbrain. We then switch over to the Lucky Clover's point of view. And even the Lucky Clover themselves don't know what this object is. And after a lot of confusion between the main cast regarding what this object is, it is soon revealed that this object contains a baton to be passed on to the protagonist of the next program of the Heisei Riders, Kamenriderblade, Kenzakikazuma. And the ceremonial scene plays out after passing the baton. A few words of exchange are made. Soon afterwards, the two transform, looking directly at the camera. The curtain falls on the double riders as they all gather together and form a handshake. Okay, so another interesting tidbit I should actually mention right now is that the reason why Faiz had a special 51st episode is because it was also to celebrate Shirokura's departure from the Rider series. And in a way, this episode is also a tribute to him. But as we would all later know, that Shirokura would actually return back to the Kamen Rider series right after the mishap with Blade and Hibiki's toy sales being too low. The script, direction, and cinematography were all done by Suzumura Nobuhiro. It is also said that episode 51 was shot directly on a digital camera, and this would later be confirmed 20 years later on Suzumura's Twitter post. A fun tidbit I should add is that a popular theory exists online that this scene is supposedly what inspired the handoffs in the Super Sentai series. Amongst popular theorists, many have mentioned how the timing of the handoffs first started with Deca Red and Magi Red in 2005, a year after Faiz's version passing down the torch. Although it is not confirmed, but highly speculated in the community that this interaction between Faiz and Blade is potentially what inspired the handoff traditions between Red Rangers in the Super Sentai series. Now, normally I would actually end the video here, but what if I told you that this episode is technically not lost media? It exists. And from a roundtable discussion with the 4 main characters of Blade, it is said that Kenzaki's actor still has this video in his collection somewhere, or at the very least gave it back to Kento Honda. No, probably not. As I mentioned earlier, episode 51 exists as a special thank you gift to everyone in the staff. And as such, I think releasing the parts of the content would diminish its value, and out of respect, I believe it's only something the cast and staff should only experience themselves. Although I won't deny that there's a lot of fans and viewers alike that are invested and interested to see how the conversation between Faiz and Blade would have turned out. Keep in mind, this is also a time before Decade where main heiseikamenriders interacting and talking was extremely uncommon, besides stage shows and games. The closest thing we actually got to seeing the contents of this special was through a tweet about Faiz's anniversary not too long ago. What's also interesting is that it would seem certain expanded media would actually acknowledge the connection between the two writers. Similar to Kuuga and Agito, many games and especially in the anniversary series Decade would acknowledge this connection. Even in Battle Drive War 2's opening scene, there's actually a scene of Faiz and Blade actually fighting side by side, and in the end they actually did a handshake together. Although I think Decade's homage to the two is the most interesting one, with Decade being a tribute to the 9 original past Heisei Kamen Riders, and of course a multiverse story, the possibilities of crossovers and fan service was endless. With that being said, the world of Faiz actually features Tsukasa transforming into Blade and fighting against the elite Orthodox squad, the Lucky Clover. Even though Tsukasa as Blade never interacted with AR Faiz, it's still interesting to note that this is the closest we've gotten to seeing the two fight on screen, besides all those crossover movies, or at least Blade interacting with Faiz's story. Also, the Faiz arc is written by Showakamenrider, one of Blade's head writer in the second half. Another coincidence in this arc features the first debut of the end. Well, what I'm saying may be a huge stretch, but the end was originally native to an alternate timeline connected to Blade's summer movie, Missing Ace. So, it's strange, but there's definitely a lot of Blade elements in Faiz's story during, the tribute episode, which is very interesting to note. Alright guys, that's about all I could find in this short video today about one of Kamen Rider's biggest mysteries. I also noticed a funny trend. Back in 2013 and 2014, the picture between the baton passing was released. Then in 2024, a tweet from the producers confirmed the existence of the video. So it was seen that every 10 years of Faiz's anniversary, we get newer information about the Phantom episode. Who knows, maybe in 2033 or 2034, this scene with Kenzaki and Takumi might be released to the public, if we were to keep up with the timing trend. But who knows, maybe we'll see it one day, maybe we won't. I'll catch you guys next time.